So everybody wants me to talk about the video that went viral. Filmed that fateful morning, April the 9th, 2024, at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport, that I narrated. And I'll tell you, you guys want to know if I thought I was going to go viral. I had no idea. How's it going, everyone? You're watching SightSoundsFlavors.com, Sight Sounds Flavors here on YouTube, TikTok. You're going to see this everywhere. I got to the airport in the nick of time. By the time I got to the plane, I had about 7 or 8 minutes to spare. That's because Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport is getting so big. In the next 5 to 10 years, it might rival Miami. I mean, maybe not quite that big on the international side, but certainly on the domestic one. And when I got in line, and I saw that old lady that worked for Spirit or works for Spirit, I don't know if she's still employed there or not, say, "You've got a filthy mouth. You're a nasty person," to the blonde passenger. I was like, what is going on here? What did I walk into? Because we don't see this sort of thing in Louisville, where I'm from, or Michigan, where I went to law school. That's something that's purely South Florida. Now, I grew up in South Florida, North Miami Beach, but I've been away a while. I haven't seen that realness, that rawness. But when she came back, I knew something was up. And so did a lot of the folks in line. A lot of you have commented saying that those are real movers and shakers. The people in line looked like they were really, doing well in life. A lot of people talk about the lady with the big bonnet. Other people talk about the gentleman in the sandals and towel. But the thing is, everybody in that line had done something right. And that is, they bought a Spirit Airlines ticket. They were flying probably to New York, Vegas. They were on their way to power lunches and high-profile meetings. They were on the way to make things happen. And we were all there as a captive audience to the drama that ensued. And you'll notice, none of those bigwigs, none of those movers and shakers spoke up to defend the blonde passenger. Now, some people have said that the blonde passenger looked like she was getting the upper hand on the old bag from Spirit. But other people say that the employee from Spirit was well within her rights to put a rude passenger in her place. And when that old bag said FU2, I had never heard anybody use that kind of vocabulary. And that's why I said, I couldn't believe that I had witnessed that. So close. I mean, so close, I could almost reach out if I wanted to and touch one of them ladies on the shoulder. And I heard that. And then I just said, wow. Wow. I was just, wow. And the young lady next to me started giggling. And that sort of brought the mood down a little bit, because I was shocked. My jaw had dropped, and I could just say, wow. And after that, I said, people are going to watch this video. I was expecting 1,000 views, maybe 2, maybe 3,000, maybe 5,000 max. And I said, you know what? Out of those 5,000 people on the SightSoundsFlavors.com YouTube channel, Sight Sounds Flavors on TikTok, Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, Sight Sounds Flavors on Instagram, they're going to want to know what the passenger had to say. The old bag had already left the building. I don't know if she went back to the ticket counter. I don't know if she went to drop a deuce. I don't know where she went, but she was gone. When she said FU2 and left, she was gone. She had left that area. I don't know where she went, but she wasn't there. I couldn't ask her. Had she come in my direction, I could have said, "Grandma, what's going on?" But she went in the other direction. But the blonde passenger came right by me. I felt that it was my due diligence as a journalist to ask that Karen what had happened. And she didn't want to answer. Some people say she looked like she was going to cry. But other people say that she had a smile on her because she knew that I was recording, because I was very conspicuous about it. I wasn't hiding. Not that you have an expectation of privacy in public anyways, but I wasn't hiding. And I believe that the old lady that works for Spirit knew I was recording as well, and I believe she could see it peripherally, and I don't think she cared. I think she was so angry because she came back for a second time. And because she said two, because I didn't hear that initially, I knew that the passenger had probably said it first. And then that's why the lady came back. But when she came back the first time, she was on the outskirts of that line. She wasn't in the line. She was like literally out of the line. But when she came back in, I knew that stuff was going to happen. And the reason that she came back that second time is because the first time the blonde passenger didn't seem to care. She did not care. She didn't give grandma or whatever, the old lady, any mind. It's as if she didn't care. And that's why that lady came back. And I was just like, I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over it, friends. And you are friends. Because here at the Sight Sounds Flavors YouTube channel, sightsoundsflavors.com, everybody that comes in is a friend. And I will tell you that in hindsight, I wish I would have stood up for that blonde lady. I wish I would have said, ma'am, you're out of line. But you know what? I thought that by recording, I was making a difference. And of course I was, because the video has been seen close to 12 million times on TikTok, close to 3 million times on YouTube, another 250,000 times on Instagram. It's on X, it's on Reddit, it's on Pinterest, it's everywhere. And here's the deal. If I had not made that video, and let's say, because I don't know what happened to the passenger. I don't know if the passenger was allowed to board. I don't know if the passenger was put on a no-fly list. I don't know if the passenger was blacklisted off of Spirit. But if any of those things would have happened, and she would have tried to call the airline and managed to speak to a living, breathing human being on the other end, it would have been her word against the employee's word. And on a discount airline, who do you think they would have believed? I mean, on a normal situation, the airline's going to believe their worker over the passenger, normally. But you compound that by it being a discount airline, they never would have believed her. And even if they would have believed her, what would they have done for her? Spirit doesn't give free tickets. Spirit doesn't give vouchers. Spirit won't even give you a Coke for free. Now, mind you, when I was flying to Louisville, I got a free cup of coffee, but not because they were feeling generous, but because the flight attendants drank out of that coffee as well. And had I wanted a refill, they might not have been able to give me one because those little coffee things only make like 3 or 4 cups. I had a cup, and each flight attendant had a full cup. So if I would ask for a refill, they would have had to make another pot of coffee. So they were like, don't worry about it. And I told them, I said, hey, I didn't pay for this. And they said, don't worry about it. And I appreciate that because I had to use the restroom and I went to pump the soap and there was no soap. Now that doesn't always happen. But I took the free cup of Joe. I made sure to tell him, hey, I didn't pay for this. I said, don't worry about it. It was good coffee too. Classic brew. So I don't know if the old lady's still working there. I don't even know if Spirit cares. You know, of all the people that tag Spirit on TikTok, the video that's got 12 million views right now, they never responded. MSNBC covered it, NBC covered it, Fox News affiliates covered it, Fox Orlando, Fox Fort Lauderdale, they covered it, the Daily Mail, the New York Post, and every single one of them said, reached out to Spirit for comment. Spirit did not comment. So we don't know. Honestly, I don't know if the lady still works there, if somebody that could make some sort of a decision at Spirit saw it. I mean, you'd think collectively you're looking at probably 13, 14, maybe 15 million views on various social media platforms, plus covered by the mainstream media. The NBC South Florida video, when I saw it that was up, had 11,500 views. It only had been up for 4 hours. But maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care. At the end of the day, is the video going to cost them sales? Are people going to stop wanting to fly on a premier airline for a discount price? Probably not. But I thought I was making a difference by making the video. I hope that lady was able to fly. I never saw her again. Never saw the old lady either. What do you think happened? What do you think I could have done? What do you think do you think the lady with the bonnet should have said something? Do you think the couple behind the blonde lady should have said something when the old lady said, go around her, she's not going anywhere? Do you think the guy in the beach towel and the undershirt and sandals should have said something? I mean, what do you guys think? We had some Jewish folks in the back there, Orthodox family, think they should have said something. We had the Indian man that was ahead of the passenger. He looked over. Maybe he could have said something. Maybe he was from Bangladesh or Pakistan, or maybe he was from New Jersey. What do I know? I'm Spanish. I don't look it. People say I don't look it, but I'm straight up Latino. Dad's Cuban, mom's Chilean. I'm Latino, la raza. You know what I mean? But everybody says I look, like an Anglo person. I don't know. Maybe the guy was from Iowa. Who the hell knows? Should he have said something? Would you have said something? What would you have done in that situation? I mean, people always say, if I would have been there, I'd have done this. If I'd have been there, I'd have done that. I would have said this, I would have. But you just don't know. When that blonde lady was confronted by that old bag, I mean, anything could have happened because she wanted the boarding pass. And that Meryl Streep lookalike, she tried to walk, and the old lady, she got in her way. Some people say that's a battery. What do you say? Show me your boarding pass, she said. She wasn't joking around. She was not joking around. You think the blonde handled it properly? You think the old lady handled it properly? You think that passenger should have said something? I would have loved to have talked to the old lady afterwards and said, man, what happened here? What did this passenger say to you? I'd have kept it classy. I wouldn't have done, I wouldn't have asked her anything inappropriate. I just would have wanted to know what happened because I wasn't privy to the initial interaction. But I never knew what happened to the old lady. I don't know if she's still working there, And she stormed off. Who knows? Maybe she stormed off and had a sick day or something. Maybe she stormed off and went back to dealing with rude customers. Maybe she was looking for the closest bathroom to take a dump. I don't know where the old lady went, but I know that once she said what she had to say, she's out of there. But the damage had been done. People had to hear that type of language in Fort Lauderdale. People don't talk like that in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, if this would have happened on some dumpy airline like United or Delta or one of those, but it's Spirit, I mean, you see the line and the well-to-do people that were in that line and how they were dressed. It just goes to show you that even on a premier airline like Spirit, you can still run into this kind of treatment. I mean, it's crazy. And I know that most of you can't afford to fly Spirit, and I don't want you to get down in the dumps about that. I know there's a lot of peasants that watch this channel, but the reality is that when you buy an airline ticket, you deserve a certain level of professionalism and customer service. And when you don't get it, what are you to do? I'm all choked up about it. I hope that lady was able to go to her destination. I hope the old lady got some coaching. I don't want to see the old lady lose her job. That was never the point. I just knew that something bad was going to happen, and just something in me said, record. Be the professional, respected, celebrated journalist that you are. Record. It's almost like divine intervention almost. I had no idea this thing was going to go viral picked up by all the major news stations. I had no idea.